Good afternoon. Today was or is a good day as I've been basically uh, experiencing transcendent reality, as it were. Had a nice, long, lengthy, interesting, in depth conversation with a person over text from a Discord that I am currently part of, and it is an incredibly fascinating thing to reflect upon the thoughts and feelings and ways that I have been expressing myself and compares to what others think and feel and the whole unity of human and self and not self, the duality of man, the duality of the world, the duality of the universe, everything simultaneously existing and, playing into one another, how everything is correlated, feeling fully at peace with the acceptance that most of what we do is out of our control and the understanding of reality as we have it isn't even fully realized, and that people on the whole are. It's hard to really explain because I was having a good conversation and I can't really re articulate what I was trying to articulate there, and I feel like trying to do so would just become a pale imitation of it. So instead, I will probably have a link for myself to the conversational thread and then be able to study it for later use. And instead of trying to hold on to it, which is kind of the entire point, is that you can never hold on to anything, and trying to is futile. So instead, just simply having the ability to let go and do something else entirely. So let's shift gears. How do I feel? I feel things are finally going in a direction that I am hoping for, if we are going to go by such terminology as hope in the modern era, because hope is sort of a futile thing in of itself. You can't really ever hope for anything, because any attempt to try and do something tends to lead towards zero undoing of it. So hoping for any one thing is silly, and instead you are meant to ready yourself for anything that can come to you. So it pays to do basically nothing, because not nothing, but whatever you feel like, anything that you feel like, because there is no true path, as it were, aside from the path that you end up doing. So attempts to try and create a deeper meaning are largely pointless and escape understanding, as it were. Being itself is its own everything, so you don't have to do anything. You will simply do what needs to be done when the time arises for it to be done, and any attempts to the contrary will instead end up making it so that it is harder for you to do what needs to be done. So, yeah, it largely ends up being that freedom of choice is imagined, because you retroactively think, oh man, I would have or could have done something different, but there are an infinite versions of reality, and in all of them, or at least the one that you're experiencing, you would never have done anything but the thing that you did. So this is an act in acceptance of who one is, who all of us are, the multiple us's that exist within ourselves, who are constantly at war with one another and trying to be, each one of them trying to vie for their own dominance because they seem selfish, as it were, and yet it's merely an illusion, trying to create an understanding for features that should not have such a thing. This is a problem of our brains being too developed for our primitive bodies. We have understandings beyond anything that we should have the understanding for. And as such, we create new and exciting versions of suffering for the sake of beauty. It's really fascinating.